This is the new G5 command center for the new CS20 and CS Home. Like the previous models, all the water connections can be found at the back of the unit. The new interactive LCD is found on the front of the unit and is used to control the HydroTap and turns it on and off. The filter door houses the internal filter, which needs to be fitted during installation. Here's what you should receive in your new G5 HydroTap box: a command center, braided water hose, braided CO2 hose, preset regulator, CO2 bottles, IEC power lead, and quick guide instructions which include a QR code link to the installation video you're now watching. You'll also receive the tap or faucet ordered with your HydroTap purchase. The tap or faucet installation videos are separate to the command center videos and can also be viewed on the Zip website. To install your HydroTap correctly, ventilation is critical to its operation. Air gaps of 50mm left and right and 200mm above the command center need to be provided. This is to allow the circulation of air around the command center. Also, a cutout in the lip of the cupboard for the cold air inlet grill should also be fitted. Next, remove the dust caps from the outlets and remove the cap from the mains in. Next, we need to connect the command center to the mains water supply. Use the supplied braided hose for this connection. Connect the end with the elbow to the mains in on the command center and do this connection up finger tight, and then the last quarter to half a turn with a shifting spanner. Next, connect the other end of the braided hose to the cold water supply stopcock and tighten this the same way. The tap of the HydroTap is electronic and the USB cable needs to be connected. Connect the female USB cable from the command center to the male USB cable from the tap. Make sure you orientate them correctly, and you should hear a click when the cables have been connected properly. Once they're connected, wind up the cable and secure it to the rear of the cupboard just to keep it out of the way of mechanical or water damage that may occur in the cupboard. As these are sparkling models, you'll need to fit a CO2 bottle to the unit. The regulator needs to be fitted to the bottle. The regulator should have a washer pre-fitted to it and a spare washer cable tied to the regulator. Do the regulator up finger tight and then use your shifting spanner to make that nice and tight. Then take the CO2 braided hose. The securing olive is cable tied to the braided hose. Cut the cable tie and fit the olive into the end of the CO2 hose and connect it to the bottom of the regulator. Again, tighten the connection up finger tight, then the last quarter to half a turn with a shifting spanner. Now we need to secure the bottle to the cabinet and the CO2 hose to the command center. There are two Velcro securing straps supplied with your HydroTap. They need to be secured to the wall of the cupboard with the screws provided. Then attach the Velcro straps, one towards the top and one towards the bottom of the bottle. Now connect the other end of the braided CO2 hose to the CO2 in connection on the top of the command center. Once you've connected the CO2 bottle to the command center, it's time to turn on your CO2 bottle and check for leaks. Turn on the CO2 regulator, and to check for leaks, take a sponge and some soapy water. Just dab the soap suds around the connections you've made on the regulator and the command center. If you see any bubbles appearing, just tighten up your connections. Next, the hoses need to be connected to the command center. In the tap box, you'll find some insulation. This is to insulate the chilled and sparkling hoses. Fold the insulation in half and then just cut or break it. Then feed the blue and white John Guest hoses through the insulation. Next, fit the supplied Y connector to the stainless steel pipe on the bottom of the tap. The carbonation valve is used to adjust the flow of sparkling water from the tap. This adjustment needs to be made after the commissioning stage of the G5 HydroTap. Fit the carbonation valve to the bottom of the Y piece and next mark up the chilled and sparkling hoses for the HydroTap. Use the blue John Guest hose to connect the chilled water out to the Y piece. Use the white John Guest hose to connect the carbonation valve to sparkling out. Remember that the carbonation valve will need to be adjusted later in the process. The filter for the HydroTap comes loose in the filter compartment. Open the filter door, remove the plastic wrapping from the filter and fit the filter into the filter head. Locate the filter, push up and turn clockwise. The filter will stop turning when in place. Your HydroTap is designed to be used frequently, so only commission the HydroTap if you're planning on using it straight away. if after the HydroTap has been commissioned, it doesn't get used for a couple of weeks or even months, the tank will need to be flushed and sanitised. The LCD has a protective cover on it, so just remove this before starting the commissioning process. Turn on the water supply and then the power point. The first screen shows the model number and serial number on the HydroTap. It also gives you the option to change the language used on the LCD, and the default language is English. Press the arrow button to go to the next screen. The next screen explains the reason for commissioning the HydroTap. Just press the arrow button to go to the next screen. The next screen is the CO2 purge screen. Press the play button and the HydroTap will run through a 30-second CO2 purge procedure. If you need to stop the purge, just press the stop button and then restart the CO2 purge. Next, the internal filter needs to be flushed. Using a bucket, place the filter flush hose in the bucket and open the stopcock. Press the play button and the filter flush process will start. And this process is timed to take 2 minutes. If you need to pause the filter flush process, just press the pause button on the LCD, and then when you're ready to resume the filter flush, press the play button again. Once the filter flush is stopped, turn off the stopcock and just give it a shake, then put the flush hose back in the filter compartment and close the filter door. The carbonation valve should now be adjusted using an Allen key or large flat blade screwdriver. The carbonation valve needs to be adjusted so the sparkling flow rate is between 1.2 and 1.8 litres per minute. To adjust, first close the carbonation valve by turning clockwise. Then open the carbonation valve 1.5 turns. Check the flow from the tap and measure how much water has been dispensed in 15 seconds. You can adjust the flow by tweaking the valve a quarter turn each time you adjust. You can register your HydroTap via a QR code. To do this, press the menu symbol, then Register Product, and the QR code will appear on the screen. Use your phone or tablet to scan the code and register your product. Please visit zipwater.com for any further help videos or information on your new HydroTap G5.